Today, I want to tell you the story of two online business owners who have similar business models selling their programs online using their email list as a form of converting their buyers. So, Jane had been prepping for the relaunch of her course for the last 2 months, and she had meetings with her team to go over the results of her last promotional period so she could repurpose what performed well and focus on making changes that would hopefully increase her sales this time around. And as she was reviewing her past emails, she noticed that her subscribers responded really well to subject lines that really invoked curiosity or spoke to a benefit of the program that she was selling. She also noticed that subscribers who registered for her webinar actually accounted for almost 20% of total sales during her last launch. She also got some really great price point feedback from subscribers who hadn't purchased the last round, and so she decided to make a few changes to the payment options that she was offering on this next launch cycle. So her launch 2.0 date is just around the corner, and she is feeling super confident that this launch would definitely perform better than her previous one. So the night before her cart opens, she leans back in her computer chair, breathes a big sigh of relief after doing one last check on those email timers, making sure that everything is ready to go for tomorrow, and she even gets to bed at a decent hour. Now let's talk about Sarah. Sarah is working on her Launch 2.0 also, and she has spent countless nights staying up late trying to write these promotional emails to send to her list. And she's a little nervous because she hasn't really emailed her list in probably, a few months, and she feels that pit in her stomach as she tries to scroll through like 14 pages of Google Doc launch emails that were supposed to be finalized and loaded into ActiveCampaign like by tomorrow. And she's kind of nervous too because her last launch didn't perform as well as she thought, but she's hopeful that this time her webinar content will actually grab people's attention, and she's really hoping that things will come together for her. The next morning, Sarah blesses and presses send on her first promo email, shoots an apology to her team for the late night SOS, and crosses her fingers, hoping that these unengaged subscribers will convert to buyers over the next 10 days. She thought that launching was supposed to be easier, not harder. So I'm going to ask you, which one do you resonate with more, Jane or Sarah? Well, if you're feeling a little bit more like Sarah today, I want to unpack 3 big mistakes that business owners make while trying to sell to their email list. The first mistake is not paying attention to email metrics. And I know they can be really daunting for business owners, especially if you're not a numbers person, but email metrics provide you with so much insight as to which emails are performing the best, and they give you clues of indicating like what needs to change based on open and click data alone. So focus on your big 3: open rates, click rates, and click-through rates. Now you might be wondering which one is my favorite or which one is the most important to follow. I prefer following click rates. Why? Because they indicate clear action that your subscribers have taken, and that action of clicking the links in your emails gives you solid, true data to measure and will help you refine your funnel components. So Jane was able to prevent rewriting all of her email copy because she used email metrics from her previous launch to direct what changes needed to be made this time around. Mistake number 2 is using Dear Everyone when sending your promo emails. So list segmentation is hands down the power move of the pros when it comes to selling to their email list. Why? Because it gives you specific information that you can drill down into and find the most active, engaged subscribers on your list who have taken micro actions like registering for your webinar, opening your emails, clicking on your sales pages, and that indicates a higher level of interest from everyone else on your email list. So these segments will uncover warm prospects who have a much higher likelihood of actually converting. And building in targeted follow-up emails to these warm segments of subscribers during your launch is essential if you want to monetize your email list. Segmentation is great because it also helps you derive really important insights to improve your next launch. A great example is in Jane's story. She had a non-buyer segment that she emailed for information about why they didn't want to purchase, and she uncovered that it wasn't necessarily that her program wasn't priced well. She just needed to include additional payment plans to accommodate more buyers. I bet Jane actually pays more attention to how many buyers choose that payment option that she added when she does her post-launch review. And that actually brings me to the third mistake, not doing a proper post-launch review. So if you want to finally stop reinventing the wheel every single time you launch, do not make the mistake of skipping your post-launch reviews. This review period will allow you to gather important information and interpret it to see exactly what you need to optimize for your next launch. The post-launch review is also when you get to check out how those segments were performing and see how and why those micro actions and behaviors turned into conversions and buyers. So what does gathering information and interpret it actually mean? How can we actually take those gut feelings that we had about how our launch performed and use quantitative data to back them up? Well, we ask ourselves questions like, how many people with this behavior had the buyer tag? Or how many units were sold during each day or phase of the launch, and what emails correlated with those dates and sales? We might take a look at our email open and click-through rates and think well, what worked about this? What didn't? Is our message resonating? Do we see any correlation with the sales page clickers with any particular segment that was engaged more or less than any other segment? Also, pro tip, do not forget about the segment of non-buyers. This is a great opportunity for you to reach out and learn more about people who were interested but who didn't purchase, so you can pivot your strategies or re-segment them for the next launch or the next upcoming promotion. So, how can you protect yourself from making these mistakes? Well, the Zen marketing method is so helpful for business owners because it is a proven framework that will insulate you from making these three big marketing mistakes. And when you follow the internal stages of the Zen marketing method, this will make sure that you are paying attention to the correct segments and behaviors, and it will inform you on what exact changes you need to make for better results next time. So, instead of scrapping all of your previous marketing assets and email copy, you will pinpoint exactly what components need to be refined and optimized. And then you can relaunch with confidence without having to reinvent the wheel. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best with growing your business and monetizing your email list. And if there is anything that I can do to support you, please head on over to simplicitynow.com and let's connect. Have a great day.